Hi, Alicia Daniel Hall, owner of Genesis Law PA, and it is Ask an Attorney time. Our next question is, when is probate required? And I think that's an awesome question because a lot of people get confused on when you need to actually go through the probate process. So probate is required when property is owned by the person who's passed away and the property is owned solely by them, or the property is not going to be transferred by operation of law or by operation of contract. An example of property that would be transferring by operation of law would be, okay, this property is owned by a husband and wife. Well, upon the death of the first, the survivor would actually own 100% automatically because we're talking about a husband and wife. They're both named on the deed, okay, in this instance. Let's take a house again. And the reason why I tend to use houses in my hypothetical is because I would say about 90% of my probate cases come out of situations where a family member thinks that they've owned this property for years and years and years. And now they want to sell it, or they want to get a mortgage, and now they find out they actually are not the owners of the home. They had to go through probate and they never did. Let's take another hypothetical that's dealing with a house. You have a brother and a sister that own the property. And the language in the deed just simply says brother A, sister B. That's all it says as far as who the grantees are, which means the people that took title under the most recent deed. In that situation, what's going to happen is each sibling is going to maintain their 50% ownership. So what's going to happen with the decedent, with the sibling that has passed away, is their 50% is actually going to go down to their heirs. You're going to have two different trees for this ownership. Sibling A, sibling B. And so all of sibling A's beneficiaries are going to receive that 50%. And similarly, when sibling B passes away, they're going to also transfer their 50%. And that's how that would work in that situation. Another example where, let's take the brother and sister again, but their deed now has right of survivorship language. What's going to happen now is when sibling A passes away, their 50% automatically transfers by operation of law directly to the surviving sibling. Now, here's an example of property passing by contract. Everyone's familiar with life insurance policies? That's a contract. So, when you open a life insurance policy, you are able to name a beneficiary. Upon your death, the beneficiary is going to receive the proceeds from that life insurance policy. There are exceptions to that. So let's say the beneficiary passed away before the decedent. Most contracts will actually have specific language in it that dictates whether that beneficiary's heirs would be able to inherit those proceeds instead. There tends to be a cutoff where they look at how long it's been since the time the beneficiary passed away. That time between the date of the beneficiary's passing and then the subsequent passing of the decedent is what most of those contracts are going to look at as far as determining whether the beneficiary's heirs would recover. Another exception would be because sometimes people actually don't name beneficiaries on their life insurance policies. So where it should be passing by contract, it's not going to because a beneficiary wasn't named. In that instance, the proceeds are in fact going to be going to the estate. And the only way for the estate to cash out is to open probate. So that's a situation where I do see that pretty often where people fail to, for whatever reason, they just never got around to it. They don't name a beneficiary. And when that happens, you do have to open probate. And similarly, your retirement benefit accounts, same thing. You name beneficiaries and the beneficiaries would receive, and you wouldn't need probate as long as a beneficiary was named. So in short, when is probate required? Probate is required to transfer assets that are owned solely in the name of the decedent, or when property does not transfer by operation of law or operation of contract. Thank you.